After the ball is over, after the skein is done, after the die lot's finished, and you are short just one, many a knitter has made a tearful and desperate call, pleading with their local yarn shop, go after that ball.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Pen Hook and Needles podcast, episode 509. Today is Monday, June 13th, 2022, as we are recording. I am Marlecia, also known as Lady Fernico.
And I'm Talia, also known as Franciscan Gypsy.
I want to welcome all new and returning viewers to the Fun in the Woman Cave. If you are new, we're glad that you found us. We hope you see something that you like and that you will keep coming back. If you are returning, we're always glad to have you back. And if you're in the shadows, either new or returning, please feel free to join us officially here on the YouTube channel or in the PHN group. The YouTube channel, well, you're here, so you just have to hit the little...
Go, keep talking. I forgot to turn off. Oh, I did turn off. We forgot to turn on this one.
Okay. Now you can see us. You hit the little bell gently and press the subscribe button, and you will be able to get notifications when we put the podcast up if you'd like to do that. If you'd like to take part in the alongs and support and all that kind of neat stuff, it's a great group in there. It's a little slow at times because we're not always there like we should be, but it's a great group. We have wonderful moderators, we have wonderful members. And if you want to be part of that, be able to do the alongs, get chances at prizes or giveaways or whatever, then you need to head on over to our homepage, home group, whatever you want to call it, which is phnpodcast.freeforums.net. That's phnpodcast.freeforums.net, and that's in the description box below. We do have a new member, well, kind of an old new member. Want to welcome back Kim, the Crafty Nomad. We're glad to have her back. I'm pretty sure she's a returnee, so we're glad to have you back, Kim. And that takes care of that kind of administrative type things.
It occurred to me why we have the shadows that you complain about. Overhead light. It causes the drop down because I'm having shadows from the glasses right now.
Yeah. Well, we need to just deal with it.
Because you've always complained about all the shadows. That's why you have the shadows.
Yeah. All right. You go first for tea or what?
No, you do.
I always have to go first.
You don't always have to go first. You hardly ever go first because I usually have more projects than you.
Always have to go first. In my
drama queen.
In my Virginia mug from Starbucks. My husband had a Starbucks card they never used, and Davina had gotten a couple for her birthday or something. So we went to the new Starbucks that's down the street from us. Because I don't go to Starbucks. But I do like these mugs. I had one from New York that Laura Concert gave me, and I had one from Boston that Talia gave me. Mm-hmm. This one is Virginia that I could never get when they came out because they were always out of stock. And they had...
Because we're in Virginia.
Because we are in Virginia. So I was able to get one, and it's all the neat places in Virginia. And in it I have Adagio's chocolate chai puer.
Puer.
Air. Yep. I should put AIR there. Puer. And this has got puer tea, ginger, cinnamon, cardamom, cocoa nibs, natural chocolate flavor, dark chocolate chips, cloves, natural spicy cinnamon flavor. So this is really good. I had a different tea that was the tea of the day, and I didn't like it. So I said I'm not going to force myself to drink it. Yesterday I had to toss it as well, but it was that one I just couldn't stand. This one, I was like, okay, I don't really like it. I'm not going to drink it.
Right. I mean, it's a single serving. Mm-hmm. I don't see the point of, if you really don't care for it, finishing it.
But this one wasn't like yesterday's. I just, want to say
versus a 1-star is a 2-star.
Yeah, this is a 2-star thereabouts. So
not the one she's currently drinking.
This one I've given 5 stars. This is awesome. This is right up my alley. Chocolate chai and puer tea.
I'm surprised you didn't put some of your chocolate honey in there.
It was over there.
I was back there.
I know, but I forgot about it. So yeah. That's what I have. What do you have in yours?
Okay, so what I have in mine, first of all, I have... Actually, I'll show you this first, and then I'll show the mug. This is... I actually got this because they have a thing on Adagio where every week you can get a new card with a tea on it, and once you accumulate enough cards, you can get a full free sample. I mean, you could just get the portion.
You get the portion or
but
the
most
sample.
people say for the sample.
Yeah.
And this is Mocha Nut Mott. Motts are right up my alley. It's toasted mott tea, dark chocolate chips, natural hazelnut flavor, natural chocolate flavor, and marigold flowers.
That's good. You didn't have a taste of this.
Oh yeah, I didn't.
As soon as I have yours, you want to have, yeah.
And mine is in my All I Want Is to Hug All the Bunnies mug. And I'm hoping to get the bad taste out of my mouth I've had all morning.
Yeah. That's when I got this. I didn't want the bad taste, and this helps get rid of that from the other tea. Because it smelled like sucrettes, and then it tasted like medicinal sucrettes.
Now it's going to be a bit cool for you, Mom, because it's a cool tea.
Yeah.
They only have you steep it at 150. And it's been sitting a little while.
This is good.
Yeah.
This tea, I can taste the base of Poirot in this tea.
Well, yeah. And this is the base that is in Poirot.
That's what I'm saying. I can taste it. I can drink that. That might have to be a staple along with Poirot.
Yeah, because it's not quite as chocolatey as Poirot, but you can taste that nuttiness on the bottom.
This is
and the earthiness that I like so much.
It's cooled a little bit, so.
This one, wait, is this a chai?
It is.
It smells like a chai. Yeah, I probably won't like this.
You're smelling, I think it's the cinnamon.
It's okay, but I'm generally not a chai fan.
And I generally am, which is surprising because a lot of chais are black tea.
You like a lot of cinnamon is what it is, and I don't.
Okay.
I am a firm believer that cinnamon can be overdone.
I'm going to have to keep that mott on my wish list. I do have it on my wish list, but I have to remember which kind it is. Because it's not yerba mott, it's something else.
I do have some yerba mott.
Okay.
That was my first mott.
Going into what we're doing here. It's midway through June almost. Yeah, midway through June already. So we are hitting we have 2 weeks left of our autism awareness along, and we have 2 weeks left of our second quarter of Tea and Tales. So if you want to finish up those projects, if you want to have a chance to win a prize for those. I think the next one we're going to be doing to replace autism awareness is dysautonomia.
I think that is usually how it is. Because
yeah, it's usually cardiac dysautonomia.
Back to back.
And we may be putting a little bit of arthritis in there as well. It might be arthritis in general, but just because mine is so weird and yours isn't, right? Yeah. Okay. But right now, autism awareness. This is all the bright colors. Okay, let me just read the rules here, and then I can adjust as we go. This runs. Let's see. Okay, April 1st through June 30th, and the projects can be WIPs when the along started, so you can start at any time, and they must be worked on and or finished by June 30th. It doesn't have to be finished to get chances at prizes, but we like to see the finished objects, so that would be nice. So please tag your projects with PHN 2022 on Instagram. So that's hashtag PHN 2022 on Instagram. We have a co-host, that's Laura Concert. We're really happy to have her with us once again. She's been doing it forever, and I don't know what we'd do if she didn't do it because she's just like a fixture, So her rules are very similar, if not the same. You have to be a member of the group to which you are posting your projects to be eligible for the prizes, and the projects must be knitted, crocheted, or loom knitted. Things that are black, white, neutrals of any kind should be at a minimum in the project. The project has to be predominantly bright colored, and I usually throw out the percentage of about 90%, but use your judgment. And we've had a couple people say, I'm not sure if this is bright enough. If you're worried about it and you say that, chances are it's bright enough, we'll look at it, but screens are so weird that we'll take you on the honor system because you guys are great anyway. We don't have to worry about it.
It occurred to me that even though we don't accept anything outside the PHN home any pictures posted outside there for prizes. If you want to post things on Instagram and tag Mom or I, we'd still like to see your
Oh,
projects.
absolutely, absolutely. They won't be eligible.
They
for
won't
prizes.
be eligible for prizes, but we'd still like to see if you happen to be knitting along with us and you don't want to join PHN Home for whatever reason. Maybe you don't work well with forums.
And there may be a time where we add that on, but right now I can't even conceive of having another place where I'm going to be having to corral people's projects. I might miss somebody, and that would make me feel terrible. So I just want to keep it at the forum. If you do it there, that's where you'll be eligible for prizes. But yeah, feel free to tag us as well as PHN so we know that, you know, use this hashtag and use our name and hashtag Lady Fernico or Franciscan Gypsy, and we will see them because we want to see them. We want to see them. And you don't have to be a member that way if you just want to show us what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you want to get prizes, you do have to be a member.
Yes.
Okay? Now, let's see. I said they all have to be bright colors. Small amounts of darker colors or neutrals are allowed for contrast. If the projects are 50 yards or less, for the finished object, then please put it with another project of 50 yards or more. Whips. Let's see, chatter whips and FO same thread. That's not really applicable anymore, but we have prizes. We talked about featured patterns and yarns, as I've said before. But for newcomers, we have a base of featured patterns and featured yarns. My yarns and my one pattern, Talia's patterns, Laura Concert's yarns and patterns, and if anything that we do that's either a yarn or a pattern, if we should branch out a little bit, if it's by us and it fits the parameters, it's eligible for 2 chances at a prize on its own. And if you have a featured yarn and a featured pattern, it's 3 chances at a prize to the FO only, and you're responsible for your own multiple postings. Now for this along, added on to the featured patterns and yarns, well there's no yarns, but patterns, are KF Jones patterns. Is it KF Jones that we did? No, no.
That's for Toy Along.
That's Toy Along. Is for Key and Tails.
Yeah.
Braided Bright by George was 10 hours or less, and the Weighted Lapgan and Teddy Bear pattern by Miss World, who is now a Modest Creation. Not KF Jones, but the other 2. So those are eligible for multiple chances at a prize for the finished object only. Okay, I'd like to give you guys as much chance at winning something as we can. I'm getting warm between the tea and the lights. There. Okay. Now the PHN Tea and Tails, this is all year. So we still have prize drawing coming up in a couple weeks, but it's for the quarter, okay? And so basically the rules are the same regarding, featured patterns and featured yarns and things like that, with the addition of Bakery Bears, KF Jones, and Mom Cook, who is Loom Knit, and Joanna Johnson. If they're related to tea and or tails, which they all have stuff like that in there, then that's a featured pattern.
And good examples are the last 2 sweaters I finished. The blue one of Joanna Johnson's. That was the Anne sweater, an Anne Green Gables, from that book that she did. And then she has a Little Women Knits pattern book, which is what the yellow sweater came from.
And KF Jones has several like Agatha Christie type things, and
Railway Children,
and Harry Potter.
Yes.
So that kind of stuff. And I know that Mom Cook has some things as well. I think they're mostly tea related.
Kay has Beatrix Potter as well.
Yeah. So if you want to use those could be featured patterns. If you use it with the featured yarn, just like the other one, the other along, the FO marries a featured yarn and a featured pattern, then it's eligible for 3 chances at a prize. I did forget to say it's 1 whip per project per week, the FO, whenever it's done, but you guys know that. Let's see. Okay, let me see. It's hashtag PHNT and Tails 2022 on Instagram, and like we said for the other one, if you tag us so we can see it, because you don't necessarily want to have prizes, you just want to show the project, you can tag us with our name, because we're Lady Fernico and Franciscan Gypsy. Okay, that takes care of that.
Woohoo!
Yay! I need a drink.
And she does the first project.
I was wondering if this was going to fit on top, and it does.
That's like my Well, the bunny. Well, actually, I don't think my big bunny one has it fit.
No, you had to get a,
I had to
a different
get.
one. Yeah.
I got a different one because it was very. It was not even quite as much as that. My Santa one was more like that one, where it's like balanced.
Yeah, it's kind of yeah.
Where it's like it's probably not really trapping heat in that much because it's not a good seal.
It's actually a pretty good seal.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's this must be just a little bit smaller than the Santa
Santa.
ones.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me see here.
Although I think your Santa's a little slimmer than mine.
It might
I
be.
mean, I have the snowman. You have Santa.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because I wasn't sure. I couldn't decide between the two, but I thought that the Santa was more vintagey. Although the snowman's
I
cute,
really
too.
like my
Yeah,
snowman.
Yeah, we got those from Plum Deluxe
Yes, we did.
over the Christmas
They
holidays.
had some really nice mugs for
Yeah,
the season.
for the season.
And
Well,
they had
those-
some really great sales on them.
Okay, in my Knitting's My Bags, I haven't changed it out yet. Angel bag is my whoops.
There's a bunny.
Oh,
Yes, ma'am.
before we do this, I did pull I closed the thread for it, and I think we had 8 or 9 people suggest names, and a couple did multiple names. And I'm still mulling that over, but we did have a winner, and I thought I put it in here. Could have sworn I put it in here. Yes, I did. Okay, so this skein of yarn,
Name to still be.
yeah, I
Decided
have
upon.
an idea what I'm going to name it. I just want to make sure so I can write up the tag.
And it is not this blue. This,
No, it's
This
purple.
looks periwinkle. It's not periwinkle.
This is purple. Purple and kind of a lavender pinky.
It's
kind
a
of.
very purple.
This goes to Looney Hiker. Pat?
And I know it's probably made it difficult to figure out a name for it when it's not the color that's showing up.
But they did pretty good based on the description. They did pretty well. Pat, Looney Hiker, I need your name and address and the fact that you won the to be determined. I will not send it out to you till I get the new ball band on, okay? So I can make sure that I've got the absolute name. I'm looking at a couple that I might want to meld together, kind of other things I'm looking at. But it was fun, and you guys got me thinking. And I did warn you that I may not use any, or I might use an amalgamation, or whatever. So I just wanted to get the juices going, and I wanted to give you guys a chance to win something because of the 10-year anniversary. So this is going to Pat. Okay, congratulations,
Congratulations, Pat.
Pat. Okay. Put that up there. Now, for my project. Okay. Yes, we're very organized this morning.
We aren't.
Let's see here. No more than normal. Okay, this is my Film Noir shawl project from Scrap Shawl Pattern by Anastasia Sattel. And I'm using Dragonfly fibers and Miss Babs for this, basically. I'm trying to find my hook in here.
Did you lose your hook?
I got it. And I didn't do a whole lot of work on this. I was working on something else. But you can see that it has grown just a little bit. I had to stop for a little bit because my hands were starting to bother me and my shoulder was starting to bother me. So I'm working on correcting my posture a little bit because I think it started bothering me when I'd be watching TV and talking to my husband while I was crocheting, and I'd be sitting like this.
Instead of facing.
Yeah, instead of facing forward. And so I think that bothered my shoulder because I found that, you know, when I rest my my arm, the way I got it to feel better last time I did that was I would rest my arm on a pillow or something and make sure I sat straight so that it was supported, and then it kind of eased up a little bit. So I kind of put this away for a little bit. My hand was bothering me. It was hurt to write, so I just didn't do it for a while, and now I'm just kind of taking it easy with it.
Doing here and there.
Yeah.
Is that all you have to say about that?
That's all I have to
Did
say
you
about
actually
it.
show it, or did you just talk about it?
I did show it, but I'll show it again.
Yeah. Because I know that sometimes. Yeah. And is that the Miss Babs?
Yes. I forget what this is called. I have another skein over there that is the
You have
same.
2 other skeins.
Yeah, but one's in a different base.
Yeah.
And I'm leaving it at the end because I think it's a lighter base in terms of, I think it's a sport weight. So I don't want it to be having so much weight on it. I would rather be at the end
That makes sense. Alright, let me move my stitch marker along. And then.
because the rest of it's DK. This one almost feels like a worsted.
Well, some of the DKs do.
Yep.
Let me bring up my show notes.
I like the way this is working out.
Okay, let's see. 509. Oh, while my show notes are coming up, did you guys like last time having the having things come up on the screen like text, pictures, things like that. I've been learning new new for me editing techniques with the BookTube, and just want to know if you like the slightly more edited. We're never going to be as edited as Bakery Bears. That's just not going to happen. But
We are what you see.
if you like a little bit of editing, please let me know. I'll only do it if it's pertinent.
And for those of you who, we had that bag donation. The lovely person who donated it gave us the bag. It was beautiful, and the person who she bought it from was very sweet, and she gave us a coupon code to her shop, and that is in the last podcast.
Right. It's on the screen a couple times within the podcast. Her shop and the code.
Her shop is Knick Knack Knits.
And that is in the last podcast with the code.
With the code embedded in the podcast itself.
Yeah, 2 different areas. Once in the middle, once toward the end. Okay, so the first one I'm going to show is one I haven't worked on in a while. I just had to figure out where I was in it. This is the Embers cardigan. This is the one I was talking about when I was trying to remember when knitting circles what pattern Amy was working on.
Appreciate it. I think it was Pat who told us that.
I think you're right. And it wasn't that Amy was working on it at the time. She was going through her sweater stash and explaining what patterns it was, and she pulled out this one sweater, and I was like, that's beautiful. I want to knit
Was that the antler?
What?
Was that the antler?
The antler is like one of the first sweaters I made.
Yeah. Which one are you talking about asking?
This is one I'm currently working that I didn't work on before.
Okay.
This is the calligraphy.
Oh, calligraphy, yeah.
Calligraphy cardigan by Hannah Fettig.
Fettig.
I don't know why I keep saying fatigue.
Because you're tired?
Hannah Fettig. And I started this originally before I got sick in black, but because I went through a period where I really didn't want to work a plain yarn in a plain, pretty simple though nice pattern. So I ended up ripping that out, and I just fairly recently restarted it using some Miss Babs that I don't even think what's the colorway. I might not even have this colorway name anymore. Oopsie. Because this is an older. I picked this up like in a kit or something. Where'd my pattern go?
Was it in your bag?
It fell.
Oh, it fell.
Oh, here it is. No, it didn't fall. It didn't fall like I thought it did. Okay, so this was in I got it from what's it called with all the videos.
Craftsy?
Craftsy, thank you. I think I got 1 or 2 of the skeins from a Craftsy box, and I might have purchased the third one. Something like that. I didn't go directly to Miss Babs.
I didn't know Craftsy had Miss Babs stuff.
I didn't pick this up on my own. You can tell there's a little bit of difference between this one. It's a little bit brighter, and these two. These two came together. This one was the extra.
Yeah, different dye lots.
But I don't particularly. I'm not going to alternate. It's such a. It's got so much variation to it anyway. But I think this is more orange than it is red. So when I do reknit my owl one, I'll probably do it in a pure red. Because
So you got the one in maroon.
I'll have to take a look at it because I think I want a fairly bright red.
Oh, okay, that's a deep one. Almost, that's definitely red, but it's,
Yeah, but it's because because this one could be worn with things.
It's closer like this. That is close to this.
Yeah, I want something that's red.
I got that too. I just haven't done it yet.
So, yeah, this is definitely more of an orange, even though it has aspects of red to it. And I wonder if you thought that I would use this in a sweater, but it works quite well. I think because it's a nice plain sweater, and all the colors they work together. They aren't like crazy. So, yeah, and I'm just at the point where I'm just increasing through to the shoulders to get to where I'm going to toll for sleeves eventually.
Cool.
So yeah.
Okay, let's see.
Oh, and this bag is I used this as a purse at one point. You got it from that guy who did the canvas
China.
bags from China. this thing has seen
He
so
was
much
super
abuse.
nice. Because he got in touch when I got that bag. It was Christmas time a few years back, and mine came in. The orders I did, and they ordered for Talia, and he said the holiday they shut down everything in China, whatever holiday it was. I forget what holiday it was over there. And he wasn't sure it was going to get to me on time, and he was really apologetic about it. He was very nice. It did get there on time. Mm-hmm. But
and I have an orange one too.
Mm-hmm. I just have the green one.
Because I liked his bag so much. I had one, for a while, I had one bag holding my actual purse, and another one I was holding like my water bottles.
Mm-hmm. It's very, very well made.
It is. I mean,
I think Laura Concert bought one too.
I have torn this one up a little bit. So there's a point where the zipper's trying to detach, but that's because I think this was the water bottle one, and I had a lot of heavy stuff in it. And it's still intact. It's just got a little bit more wear on
it's
it.
still, you know.
Yes. It's just that I abused it. It's enjoying a nice retirement, only carrying yarn projects.
Okay, in my Knit for Brains teapot bag that Laura Concert gave me, and this is the drawstring version. It's a cute little size. I think it's probably like a medium, maybe. And this is my Arwen's Hooded Cowl project from the Thorns Hooded Cowl pattern by Effinora. It's not by Effinora. That's the
photographer. I need to wind up that skein that's keeping me from finishing Laura's.
And I really like this. I mean, I only work on this one right now during the podcast because for me to get any time to just sit, I'm trying to get better. I'm identifying. Right now I'm in the process of identifying where it is that I can stop losing time. And I think I identified where I can pick up maybe 10 to 15 minutes, maybe more in the morning. Mm-hmm. So I'll have to try that. I keep saying I'm going to try it, and then I don't do it.
Right.
So I'm constantly running behind. But this is coming along really well. Make sure I don't pull this too much here. It looks roughly the same because I haven't done that much. But I did work on it, so you're seeing it. And this is Miss Babs in the slate blue colorway. And this is just a really nice color. I think this is just really pretty. I thought it was a stitch, but it's not. There we go. There we go. That'll do it. I don't want to do short rows because I'm really far along, and that means Talia would have to fix it. Because if I tried to fix it, I would have to tear it all out. It's a very light weight, which is fine. You know, if I keep it, that's fine.
Well, yeah. If you do it with Miss Babs, it's gonna be a lightweight. If you do it with the worsted, it can be quite heavy.
Especially
the way Laura's is.
Especially if you do the same needles, regardless. 'Cause I'm using the same needles because
I've never changed the needles on it.
Yeah, I don't change the needles. So, and it probably would go really quickly if I just sat down and did it.
Oh, indeed.
Yeah, I mean, and just go round, because right now I'm just going round and round and round. I have to keep track of how many rows I'm doing. Even if I messed up on the rows, it's not that big a deal. You just adjust. You say, okay,
There's extra. Oh, wow.
If there's extra. I mean, I don't even mean that there'll be extra rows. I would just adjust on the next row.
I don't even do that. I'm just like, there's extra.
Yeah. I mean, because it's very meditative. You just sit here and you go round and round and round. Sometimes I'll go past the stitch marker and I'll forget to, oh, wait, I need to change the row. Mm-hmm. And I don't usually go past it more than once. Right. But it's like, oh, wait, I need to change that because I'm just sitting there, okay, that's there. I just move it and keep going. And, it doesn't register in my little brain that I should be marking the row.
Right.
So, but yeah, that's all I have to say about this.
Okay, so.
And you might hear Davina, she's doing the bathroom because it's Monday.
In my Silver Shed USA Nurse's Caps on a Pale Field bag. This is the Cuddly Owl sweater. The pattern is Ginny's Cardigan by Mary Chiba. This comes from the unofficial Harry Potter Knits. It's a magazine, but it's like a magazine book.
You know how those really sturdy magazines, they're actually books.
I think it's Interweave Knits?
I think it was Interweave Knits. Unofficial Harry Potter.
Yeah, unofficial Harry Potter knits. And it was there was a lot of patterns I liked in there. And I snagged it when it came out because of that. This sweater is one that I had originally knit for myself, but I had used acrylic, which is why I'm thinking about re-knitting it for myself in a non-acrylic after I finish Mom's, because I don't wear the acrylic one very much because it's very heavy and the sleeves don't have a whole lot of give. But I love the way the sweater looks.
Oh, I forgot the stash enhancement. You know what I forgot?
What?
The sweater Mrs. Helm gave me
Where is it?
upstairs.
I'm talking about this. Run and get it.
Yeah, I'll go get it.
So this is using Mom's yarn that she dyed up. Davina gave her the base yarn for, I think it was Christmas or her birthday. It's an alpaca. It's a sport weight. I think it's actually a light. Wait, it might be light DK. Let me see. It's a light DK. And I'm using US 7s and US 5s. And I've made it through the first chart once. So the owl is starting to form, if you can see him.
Oh, yay. Pretty.
So,
My yarn is looking good in that.
yes, it is.
If I do say so myself.
Very soft.
Attacked by the little owls and the pig, the flies.
So, yes, this has been nice to work on. It's a fun little pattern. And it's nice to see the owl develop. I don't know if it shows up as well on the screen as it does in person.
Yeah, it does.
But you can see the
Yeah,
owl.
I think so.
But yeah, I actually worked on this a fair amount. Good heavens, Mom.
It's just because of where it's sitting.
That's just her phone buzzing annoyingly. Yes, so this one got a fair amount of work this week.
And I want to get this markers moved because I counted the row. I like the way that's turning out. That's going to be a pretty sweater to wear.
It is, and it's like you said, it's going to be like a spring fall.
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised how warm an alpaca sweater can be while still being lightweight. Because sometimes you don't want a lot of weight, but you want to be warm.
Mm-hmm.
So the alpaca really answers that
Right.
need. So
Okay.
yeah, and this is a pretty color.
It is. Is that my pennies from heaven?
This is your pennies from
Yeah.
heaven.
Yeah.
I have a darker version of this in sport that I haven't worked on the pattern in a while because it's for a more lacy hood pattern, so I haven't had the brain power and I've been wanting to work on other things.
And if it's the dye method that I think it is, it will take it differently every single time you do it.
Yeah, and also you were doing a larger amount of yarn, so you had to guesstimate how much to saturate it.
Right.
Whereas you knew exactly how much to saturate this.
Yeah.
So yeah, really pretty.
Okay.
I think this is a lot closer to what it normally is for you versus the other one.
Yeah. Okay. Because I had to make that when I first put that one out, somebody wanted a sweater's quantity, and I had to really hustle to get it done. And I spilled dye all over the floor when I was doing that because it was interesting. But I got it done. She liked it, so that was happiness. Oh, I guess I should put my pattern where it belongs.
Probably.
Okay. Okay, that goes in there. All right, my next one is in my B-Wing country bag. That's given to me by the lovely Brittany. Love it very much. I do. I never thought I would like this bag so much. I absolutely love this bag. It's just I think Brittany rubbed off on it. Yeah. This is she didn't make it, but she got it for me, and I don't
know why we fuzzed because we have the auto. I don't know.
Doing that. Don't care.
Sometimes this camera is weird.
It's persnickety like everything else. Okay, I meant to start weaving this in, but I think what I'm going to do is
You're going to need to weave it in before you
that's
pick
what I'm
up
going to do.
stitches.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm going to do is when I pick up the stitches, I'm going to weave it in at that time before I pick it up. Let's see here. I'm trying to find Bunny Fufu because that's the one I'm looking for. That's what I'm working with. Here it is. And this is one of my yarns. This is Little Bunny Fufu.
Yeah, I made that into a pair of socks.
Yeah. Let's see.
I need to stick my socks in the wash. Because it seemed like every time I wanted to wash socks, somebody had stuff in the wash.
It was a big laundry week this past week for whatever reason. I think because it was actually pretty warm and you know, it's just Daddy was out a lot, and I had to do. Did I do the tablecloth that week? I forget.
Oh, I have no idea.
I don't know.
Yeah, you probably did do the visitor.
That's right. I did the tablecloth, and I also have to do the other tablecloth now too. I have to do my sheets.
Well, I want to get my socks in first because it only takes 30 minutes
Well,
to do my
then, you know, I
socks.
should do that. And let me see. Okay, so this is I hardly started on this, but you can see it. I think. Oh, see the top there? You can see.
Yeah, they can see. It's just it's barely there.
You can't really see the pink yet. The pink is just
I thought I saw a little bit of the pink.
yeah, just a little bit. Trying to make it so maybe I can do a couple of a little more stitches and see if we have pink coming up. But this is just a bit of a mess. And I say that every time I take this out. My husband has been wanting to watch movies where he insists that I have to watch. I have to pay attention because, and he's right, you do have to pay attention because there's so much going on that if you don't pay attention, you miss something.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't been able to do a lot while we're watching movies. Although I have done some. Let's see if I can get this. I don't know why this is so difficult.
Do you need it to be untangled to work on it?
I do, because it's pulling on the actual project.
Mm.
There we go. Now let me see if that might work. Yeah, that should do it. Okay, so this little bunny fufu I developed for Tortoise and the Hare, Tortoise versus Hare, a couple of years back, 3 years back, something like that, before COVID, and I haven't had it in the shop very often because it's a little time consuming to make. So if I make it, I make at least 2 or 3 skeins, and then I probably won't make it again for a while until I run out of when I run out of die stock, because it's just a little time consuming and takes me away from other colorways that I might want to make. So I don't know if you can see here. You can see that it's got like whites and blues, and I can't really see the pink. Can you see the pink?
I feel like you can.
Let me turn it this way because I see it here, but I don't know if you can see
it's
it
harder
on the screen. You can see kind of the pink over here.
Yeah, it's very.
It's a
small
little
now.
washed out for the camera. It's not washed out on the project. It's this kind of pink right here.
Yeah, for some reason it looks pale on the camera.
It's
I
not
don't know
pale.
why.
It's like a fuchsia. It's not pale in the least.
It's very bright.
It's very bright. And this is just all different yarns. I've got some of my yarn in here. I've got some of Miss Babs. I've got Dragonfly Fibers. I've got some that I don't know what it is, except that I know it's superwash merino most likely. So this is just kind of a catch can type of thing. Taya gives me stuff when she finishes projects,
But it has to be of the right weight.
it has to be the right weight. Yeah, I can't use fingering in here. I can use DK,
Sport.
worsted, and sport in a pinch if the sport is heavy enough.
Right. I
because-
I usually tend to use the sport and DK almost interchangeably, and then I use the DK and worsted interchangeably.
Which is a big jump if you're using all 3 in the same project.
Right.
You got to make
I
sure.
feel a lot of times with squares, you can or things like this.
Well, I can.
It
see,
doesn't matter.
I can see a little bit where you can see like this must
Yeah.
be a little bit less heavy than this because it's a little thinner. But when I add the stitches in block, it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
It's not that big.
Even
a
if you
difference.
don't block.
Yeah. This is a hand pieced quilt, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
It's not meant to be perfect.
No.
If it's perfect, it's machine. I'm not a machine last time I looked. So, yeah, I'm enjoying this a lot. It's between Brittany's bag and my yarn and Kay's pattern and Davina picking out like strange combinations of colors because she's like, sometimes she doesn't even look. She's like, I'm doing this because I know you think I like to do this. So I'm just gonna stick my hand in there and pull something out, and it could be just. You think that's never gonna go together. It works. Yeah, it works. So it's fun.
Because she doesn't look at the color before, like the one that came before it.
Oh no, she just
picks.
picks, and sometimes she doesn't even look in the bag when she does it. Sometimes she just sticks her
It
hand.
depends on what mood she's in.
Yep. She's just like, okay, I can do that. I don't want to look in there. I have something to do. So just
Now Laura doesn't even call this blanket; she calls it your scarf because she doesn't believe you're going to pick up stitches.
I know. Way to have faith. If it doesn't become anything but a scarf, I'm going to send it to her. Laura's scarf.
So in my little skein in the big wool bag, it's Velveteen Rabbit. It's held up very well. over the years. This holds my rainbow socks. The pattern is Vanilla Cream by K.F. Jones. And I totally didn't think about getting the sock blockers.
Again.
I got them last time.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, sock number 1 with purple toe and green heel. Wait, other way around. Purple heel and green toe. And then this one is the green heel and purple toe.
It's fun.
So, purple hasn't been added in yet. And it's just interesting. I feel like you'd get a slightly different feel from them.
I think in order to get the full effect, you have to have them both done. Cause
Yeah.
I'm not really seeing it. But it probably will be when it's done.
But yeah, I'm trying to work my way through this because I do have some of Laura's yarn set aside for this pattern, and I've been really championing the bit to start that.
And I've got a lovely skein that Laura gave me that I want her to do something with mine too. But it's DK weight, so I don't know if that'll
I have DK patterns.
Yeah. So
I just have to find them because I think a K has a DK pattern.
And if I don't use it for that, I'll find something else like a toy or something because I want to keep it. The yarn that Laura gave me is so pretty.
Sorry.
And it has the matching heel and toe skein, so could do something with that. Let me just finish this row. I guess I don't have to finish the row. Just.
And I'm pretty sure that Karina Spencer has DK. I think we would do the ones not just wearing boot socks because I frequently use DK for that.
And I've got the heel and toe, so it should be okay for the yarn. It's just a really pretty skein. It's really pretty skein with a really pretty coordinating or contrasting, whatever it is. I have to look at it again.
Well, I've been able to use just one skein of your normal DK weights.
Oh, okay.
So if I do a 7-inch leg, now I would be able to possibly go longer, or you would have more left over to add to your blanket.
Right.
Because I'll be doing heels and toes, which I don't usually do.
Yeah. Okay, let me put this away. This one I don't have to mark anything, so I just go until I feel like going.
Which is nice to have.
Which is nice. It's nice to have this kind of a pattern where you just kind of go until you go, you know?
Excuse me.
I do definitely have to, sorry Ty, have to figure out what to do with all these threads of yarn. Okay. My next one, it also gives me a little break from my thumb when I do the knitting.
Right.
So.
But not requiring any brain power.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I lost my show notes. Not that I lost it, they just turned off. Okay, my next one is in my large Silver Shed USA PHN 10-year Podiversary bag. And this is my Spring Flowers baby blanket from the Sorabelle scarf pattern by Sarah Sweetheart. Everybody knows who Sarah Sweetheart is if you've been not watching us for any length of time, because I mentioned her like at least 3 times in every podcast.
Even though she is nowhere on the internet anymore.
No, it's hard to find her. She's not
even hard to find. She's impossible
to find. Yep. My friend who came over and visited us, Lacey One, really liked this pattern, the way it was working out.
Did you give it to her? The pattern, I mean, not the project, obviously.
She didn't ask for it. She just liked the way it worked out. And if she wants it, I'll give it to her.
I don't think she usually crochets. I'm sure
she does.
can.
She does. She was it for? I thought she was doing something crochet, but I forget what it was. I think
she does so many different things.
She predominantly knits and tats and spins. She likes to spin.
Yeah, excuse me.
She had asked me if I would dye up. She didn't ask me this time, but she asked me in the past if I would dye up fiber. I don't feel comfortable with that because if I mess up the fiber, that's a lot of, a skein is a skein. I can replace a skein, but fiber is expensive, and I don't want to mess up.
And you're not sure.
I'm not sure how
take.
I don't know how it would, if it would felt, because she doesn't do superwash. I don't know if fiber comes in superwash.
I don't think it does.
I don't know. So I just, I turned her down for that. But if she has yarn she wants me to do, I'll be happy to. Okay, so that's all I have. Oh, did I show it? I think I did. I did show it.
You did show it. Yeah. You did. So next for me is in my PHN Faces bag. This is Frozen. The pattern is Fisherman's Hoodie by Mari Dembro. There we go. Sorry, the bag tray gets stuck on my feet. And I'm using shepherd's wool in the frosty blue colorway. And the pattern looks like this. It's just a very I love the size of the hood.
Yeah.
It is a pieced pattern. She's the one who suggests crocheting your pieces together to provide a nice, sturdier seam.
I get a newsletter from Knitting Paradise, I think it is, and somebody was talking about the fact that they're not sewing anymore. They use a certain method. I have to go back and look because they mentioned a certain method that I guess makes it lay flat or whatever. They found a video or whatever by somebody, and they do it that way. And it might even have been this person.
I mean, it would make sense if it was this person because she's the one who. It's the first time I've heard.
Yeah.
And I did make progress. You can't really see a whole ton of it yet. Because this is only the back, so you can't imagine it going around. This is supposed to be oversized.
Looks really pretty.
That's the way she plans it.
So that's the back, you said?
This is the back. And I love this color.
It's a really pretty color.
It's soft. And yeah, this is. I'm only just.
Good
Good heavens, your phone is annoying.
It's not annoying. I'm gonna put it here where it can't buzz on something.
Yeah.
There we go.
So yeah, the pattern's slowly developing. It's kind of hard to see it where it's at, especially since this is flat versus in the round, so it's hard to picture. But yeah, this does require a little bit more focus because I am doing 2 different charts each row, and the numbers don't match. So it's like one chart has like 7 rows and the other chart has like 9 rows or something like that. So your number for the chart isn't going to match even your number of rows. So you might be on row 3. You know, if you're keeping track of how many rows you need to do before increases or something, you might be on row 3, chart A, row 1, chart B, row 7. You know, you had to keep track of that.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
And so I have a very complicated notes set up, and I have like sticky notes marking where I'm at on each chart.
That's too much work for me.
It's worth it though.
I can have you make one.
That's what was going on with the Vivians. I had 2 or 3 that were like that, where the chart numbers didn't match up. And for a first time cable pattern, that was pretty intense.
Yeah. Okay, let me see what I have here. Put this in here.
And I think I'll enjoy, because one of the things I've noticed with some of the hooded patterns is they're very tight hood. I think they're supposed to make it more like a slimming kind of, almost like a fashionable effect. For me, because I've got scalp tenderness, I don't like a hood that's that fitted. I like a bit of a bigger hood.
I don't think it works well. Like, so I have a thin face. I prefer to have a little more.
Yeah, I prefer a voluminous hood, and this has like the hood has more to it. But I don't know why a lot of knitted patterns have that tight fitted
I don't
hood,
care for this.
and I hardly ever use the hood then.
Okay. My next one is in my Canvas Universal Studios bag, blue one. When Mike and I went anniversary about 5 years ago, I guess, because you were still working and you were home with Davina.
It wouldn't have been 5 years ago.
You know what? You weren't home with Davina. You were at school or something. You must have been home for school because your grandparents took Davina, I think, because we were in Florida. I don't think we left
That
you.
might have been the time where
Did we leave you in Florida? Did you do a podcast when we were in Florida?
I might have. That might have been the time period that I was testing Patrick Moose's. Well, was it a moose? I was testing something for Patrick Moose, Badger actually, and
that's so cute.
I slept on the couch most of the time just because I was the only one in the house. I could sleep wherever the heck I wanted, and I went to the Italian coffee shop.
Yeah, you got the London Fog or whatever.
Yeah, so
I'm glad
that might have been that time.
I'm glad I didn't buy that there because I didn't like it when I got it from Tazo. It was too much stuff.
You might have liked it in
Yeah.
real non.
Yeah.
non-prepackaged form.
Anyway, I got this bag there, and this is Laura's her shawl. It's called Virtual Hugs, and I did a lot of work on this. This is what I wanted to work on. So you can see that I've started the green on the bottom again. I'm going to start the green. I thought I started the purple already. Let me see. No, I'm still on the green right here. So right here. But it is definitely getting big. Not quite as big as mine yet, but it's getting there. See? See, it's not quite, mine goes all the way down to my wrists almost.
Right.
But this one, this one's hard to tell because I'm actively working on this side. But
it's not near where you want.
I mean, it's a good size shawl.
But if you like a nice big shawl,
Laura likes nice big shawls, and I like nice big shawls. And if I'm going to give a person a shawl, I want it to be the kind they like.
Mm-hmm.
And I also like to make it as warm. It's a virtual shawl. It's a virtual hug, and a hug has to be
large.
It has to be large. So the colorway I'm working on currently is a Miss Babs, and I believe, and so that's just where I am with this. I'm not sure what the color is. I could look if I wanted to go looking into that bag, but going into that
it's
bag.
It's one I gave you.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm. I don't remember what it's called, but I gave it to you.
Going into I'll have to give it back to you. Mine is maybe enough to make a square.
Although I'm switching from squares to something else because I had my miter square blanket and I had an argument.
No. I'm not talking about. I'm saying it's a square for my blanket.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Yeah. And because I give you the whole thing back after, I just want to take off enough to, put in my square.
I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, and then give it to her. But it's working out really nicely. You can see, look at that. This purple here is very close to this, and I just wanted to, get a little more mileage. I'm not trying to get it the same as this one. I'm going to go, until I feel like I don't want to go, and then I'll put the next color in. Because I do have a little bit, the stitches are big, so that's good, but I still have a little ways to go before I can think about finishing it. So I just want to make sure I have, a fair amount of this. I have a good portion of the skein still.
Well, you're not going to use a new skein of Miss Babs up with that.
See?
You drive Laura nuts for using fresh skeins for...
Well, I didn't have enough scraps. I didn't have enough scraps because... I don't do a lot of things that require scraps, that have scraps left over.
Right.
I'm not a really prolific person. I take a long time to work on things.
Right.
Because I can't push my body for that. So,
right.
So I open up a skein and do it that way.
A lot of my scraps that I've had, well, besides the socks, but you're going to love my sock scraps, but a lot of them have been from toys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's why I get a lot of mine from toys, but I haven't done a lot of toys.
Yeah.
In the last
and also when I design, years. I usually have a fair amount of yarn left over.
Right.
So yeah,
that's all I have to say about this.
Okay, so my final project is in my Silver Shed USA 10-year Podiversary bag. This is, I think we said this is the X large, right?
Yes, mine was X. I put large, but it's extra large. The other one's smaller.
So I think this is X large. Could be large. I don't know.
It's a Silver Shed USA bigger bag.
Yes. And this is the Buttercup sweater. The pattern is Boxed In Cables by Mari Dembro, which makes me sound like I'm obsessed with her. But this is the one I found first. And then when I saw the hooded one, I was like, well, I have to make that
I forgot that you started that one.
Yeah, I started this one as soon as I finished the other one because I knew that I wanted a true sweater.
Right.
This sweater makes me think of Mr. Rogers. He did have like all the colors, which I forgot.
I remember mostly his red one.
That's what people think of him in, but I know he had a green one. I think he had a yellow one.
I think he had a blue one. He had a gold one.
He had multiple colors.
Yeah.
But everyone thinks of him in the red one. But this is what the sweater looks like. And usually she'll say, well, if you wanted male buttons on this side, female buttons on that side. So her sweaters are meant to be unisex. And it looks comfortable, and that's what I'm going for right now, is comfort. And what's more comfortable than a big yellow, canary yellow sweater?
Look at me. Well, here I am.
This is a color I love.
Look at me.
I was working on this at the doctor's office, and my doctor looked at it and she's like, ooh, I like that color.
That would look good on your doctor.
It would.
Yeah.
It would, because...
She's got that really pretty darker skin.
yeah, it's... and so it would look really nice on her.
She'd just be beautiful on her. She's a pretty girl. Pretty lady.
But yes, so this this has gotten a little bit of work. I think I have a few more rows before I would go into patterning, because it does have a bit of a patterning. I think though that it's a kind of pattern that it would be very rhythmic. But I'll
Intuitive?
not intuitive in the way that it could be a bit intuitive, but I don't think it's the way necessarily that the Schwetter was.
Right.
Where I only had the one chart. I think I do have a couple charts
do you?
potentially.
That's pretty. I like the front of the front,
Yes, this
front panels.
that's the they almost look like fish scales.
Yes.
And actually I am wrong. They have a cable for the left side, looks like the cable for the left and the cable for the right. So it's just there's the same amount of rows. So that's actually fairly simple.
But nice looking.
Yes. So I am looking forward to this getting along. It's going to be fun. I have several buttons to choose from when I get to that point. Haven't made up my mind yet. Which buttons? Because buttons to me are a very important part of the sweater.
Buttons are awesome.
And if the buttons don't call to me, I will go looking for buttons, because eventually some button in my collection will work for some sweater. It's just might not be that sweater.
Let me just finish this stitch. I don't like to finish. I don't like to leave it right on the other end of increasing. This is my last 3 stitches here. Not my last 3 stitches, but I like to go 3 or 4 stitches in after an increase, just because if it pulls back for some reason.
Right.
Not that it's a problem too much with the crocheting, but. And I think the next color I'm going to do might be a plain, but I'm not sure.
You'll determine it at the time.
I'll figure it out. I was thinking about doing, and it'd be a thin stripe if I do it, because it's not a very big skein. And that's fine too, because this is a scrap shawl. I can't find it right now. It's in here somewhere. This is like the black hole of knitting bags. Okay.
Oh, that color is Squash Blossom, by the way, and it's partially in this shawl as well. I have this in multiple projects, as many projects as I can get this in.
Okay.
It's probably my favorite yarn colorway.
Okay. So like that. Okay. What's next?
Usually it's shop, because we don't have any FOs.
Shop.
And I don't really have anything shop because
I do.
Yeah.
Okay, we already said who the winner was. That's good.
Yeah.
I was able to get a fairly good amount of dyeing in when Ty was at a doctor's appointment on Thursday. Thursday.
Thursday.
Davina got to help me by running errands, so that made things go a lot faster, because she would take bottles back to the back room, and she would, do that kind of stuff, which sounds like it's nothing, but I don't have to then run it back and forth. And she was really happy because she was able to do stuff. She wrote out tags and things for me and all that, because I can read her writing.
Yeah, she actually has pretty decent writing.
She has the best writing in the house.
Mm-hmm.
So she's
I partially blame hand tremors now that I have.
And I think my thumb,
Mm-hmm.
and also my eyesight. If I'm not wearing my glasses, sometimes I don't see the lines. I used to see older people, and you say, why don't they stay on the lines?
Mm-hmm.
I think the peripheral vision is off, and so they can't see.
I have a mixture of sometimes I'll get tremors, and then my hand will fatigue.
Yeah, mine will too.
Or I will fatigue. So
my hand sometimes seizes up.
I don't have that. I'll just fatigue.
But anyway, let me go into the
I mean,
shop.
it was bad before that. Nursing ruined my handwriting.
I may make some more of this later. This to be determined. That I have a pretty Looney Hiker. Okay, it's not called Looney Hiker.
No, it's not.
Oh, now I have to make one called Looney Hiker. Oh my gosh! Now I have to make one. I'm gonna have to get in touch with Pat and see what her colors are. Okay. This may look like it's the same, but it's not. This is Virtual Hugs. And I have 2 of these. They're fingering sock. And I have one that's already spoken for. So this is fingering sock. And again, it's not blue. It's purple. The one that I have that's already spoken for is this one. And you can see the difference between this and this. there's more of a purple in there. That's a straight, you can see this darker kind of reddish color. It looks like red, but it's purple. It's a little bit different than this other one. So this one's already spoken for. But I have 2 of these in the fingering sock. And I'm trying to open it up so you can see a little bit better. It's just different
So
shades
there's
of
a
purple.
little bit more of gradation.
Yeah. And so this one was fun. I did have a chance. I tried to get this, all these skeined up, but they weren't dry in time, and I was rushing against the clock on Sunday to get them. And I just got the big one that has to go out, and the one other one that I'll show you in a second. So this one is called Virtual Hugs, and I have 2 of them. They're fingering sock. I think it's 75-25, and they'll go up as soon as I get them reskeined. I know some people don't like them reskeined, but I know some people do, and I prefer to have them reskeined because it gives you a better idea how it's going to work up in the project. And my stuff tends to either spiral. If you're doing socks, it'll micro stripe or mini stripe. You know, if you're doing something with a small circumference, and then sometimes it'll pool or it'll,
I've had yours spiral too.
I said spiral, like so.
Yeah, I've had yours do several things because
Yeah.
I think Little Bunny Foo Foo, which was an earlier one, that and Flame On both had an interesting pooling pattern.
Right. Now another one. This is I have both the reskeined and the non-reskeined, and this is my Neapolitan after the ice cream.
Yeah, this was a good colorway.
So here's what it looks like before it's reskeined,
I need to knit something in that. That looks like it'd be fun.
and this is what it looks
And by
like.
knit something, of course, I mean socks.
Yes. So this is Neapolitan, as in the ice cream. It also reminds me of those candies that I like so much for Grandma's candies.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. But this is
Oh,
Neapolitan.
those are good.
I love those. Always have, even as a kid. So this,
There's just something special about grandma candy.
all these are going to be in the shop. They're all fingering sock. Okay. At this point, I haven't done any DK or anything at this point. If I can do it if somebody wants any of these in DK. I have DK certainly.
Didn't Wayne say if you used to have these kind of candies, like in the where you could
Probably,
scoop them?
probably. So this is the Neapolitan colorway. Okay. And then my last one, I thought I had done this for the shop at one time, but I think I only did it for Talia, and I had to reverse engineer it because I couldn't find my dye recipe. It wasn't hard. I mean, this is my Loki colorway.
I love this colorway, which
This-
I need to knit pairs outside of this too.
She did her first stethoscope cozy with this. And so I've got 2 of these, and depending on, you know, it gets...
And it's a stencil cozy I used the most because it was so much fun to knit with.
This is Loki. Now this one is a little lighter than the other one. I'll show you the other one in a second. It took the dye just a little bit differently. I think this was the first one I did because I didn't know if I'd gotten the color right, so I just did one. And so I had some dye stock left over after I was done, and I did the other one, and I must have done it a little heavier on the dye or took it differently or whatever. So it's a little bit different. So if someone were to buy this and they bought both of them for a project, I would suggest, if you don't like having, you know, obvious discrepancies, that you would alternate skeins because it's the same color. You can use them together. You just have to maybe alternate skeins would be good, unless you don't care, you know, and that's fine too.
You're dealing with the variegated yarn. I don't think it matters.
So this is the other one.
Yeah,
and you can see it's a little bit darker. So I did this one in the newer section, so
That's nice.
it's Loki. And I developed this years ago, and I'm surprised I only did the one skein for you, the mini skein or whatever
You
it was
must
I did.
have used it for something else. I mean, I can't imagine you had just done this game for me.
I think I was playing around with leftover dye stock, and I just never. I don't think I made Loki. I looked in my shop to see if I'd sold any because I don't have any in my shop, so if I made it, it had to be gone.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think of is if I used it for the if it was done from the mystery skeins, I would have taken the pictures off.
Yeah,
So-
and you didn't have it that recently in the shop. You wouldn't have. I wouldn't. It wasn't on your shelf.
Yeah, I don't think it was on my shelf.
I think that by the time I made the stethoscope cozy, if you did have it available, it was already gone.
Yeah. But it would be in my shop, is what I'm saying.
Oh no,
So-
I know. I'm just saying that it hadn't
Yeah.
been on your shelf for a long time.
So I have several new skeins. I have 2 of Loki. I have 2 of Virtual Hug, and I have 2 of Neapolitan that are going into the shop as soon as I can get them done up. I have a whole bunch of dye stock that I need to clear out before I can start doing more new things or old things that I want to put back in the shop because they're gone. As I said earlier, if there's something that you don't see in the shop that you remember me having in the shop and you'd like to see it come back, let me know. The only reason I might not be able to do it is if I didn't write it down, like it was a one-off, or it was playing around or something like that, or if I've changed methods and it won't work anymore.
Right.
So, but I will try my best to do that. So I'm happy to have some things to put in the shop. It's just going to take me a little while to get it in the shop because I have to rescan them and take pictures, and I have to label them. So, yep, that takes care of that.
No, let me just put this back on the pattern because I lost one of my sticky notes.
Yeah.
Okay, this was supposed to be number 5.
What are you doing?
I had to put this back on the sticky note. The sticky note back where it belongs because I lost it. It's GC18.
This tea cools really well, and now I don't have any more of the sucretsy, medicine-y taste that I had in my mouth.
Did you mention the medicine-y tea that you almost had?
You mean yesterday or today?
Today.
Yeah, I
did
did.
you mention it to them?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, I can't remember.
Yeah, Sucret's tea. It was supposed to be a green cherry tea, and I just didn't like it. I mean, it's okay. I could have had it, but I didn't want it.
So why have it? You know.
But unlike the other one yesterday, which I really just didn't like, I dumped that one, and I didn't. I said, this one I could potentially drink. I'm not going to, but I could potentially drink it. The other one. Mm-mm.
Now, we should go on into royalties before we forget.
Mm-hmm. Mine has to go last.
Okay. Yes, it does. So,
At least the big one does.
do
Do you want me to do the small one first?
sure, go ahead.
Well, I'm going to show pictures of things in there because of the thing.
Okay. So I have, Mom picked this up for me when she was out with her friend. Simpson and Vale, Lewis Carroll black tea blend, which I haven't tried yet. And it's black tea, rose Congo, Congou, Congou,
Congou? I don't know.
tea, flavoring, and malva flowers. So
There was another one I wanted to get for you, but some of the stuff was even stranger than that. I was like, and they were leading with these. I said, I don't know how you're going to react to that, so I just didn't pick it up.
No, normally going with black and roses and something with flowers is a good choice for me.
I wasn't even saying that. I was more concerned about I didn't know if you would react with it because I never heard of the stuff.
Yeah.
So.
And then this was. What should we do before that? I had some teas. Well, this was over a period of time.
Right, because you forgot.
Because I forgot. And also I have the hot cocoa stuff that keeps gathering in this box.
Yeah, I've got like 3 of them.
I need to find another spot for them because this is my box that I keep my podcast stuff in. And it's taking up way too much room.
We're going to have to find a time where we have that. And play around with the spices.
So, if you spent a certain amount of money, they sent you a free Breathe Well.
I didn't want that, so I made
And
sure.
I did. It has peppermint leaves, orange, eucalyptus, ginger, cinnamon, fennel seed, licorice, schisandra berry, mullein leaf, lemongrass. I figured it was worth a try. I didn't pay for it.
I'll taste yours if you let me sip it.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to have one. I guess I probably should have just done it, but I just.
No, why? I got it free with mine.
I didn't quite have enough, and I wasn't gonna, put something else in it to get to that point.
Now this one was a free sample based on the cards, and this is Foxtrot. This is one of the teas that I put into Physician. The other one was this is the chamomile.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Okay.
The other one was the green tea, which I also really enjoy.
It says rooibos in it too. It has chamomile, rooibos, and peppermint leaves. Natural vanilla. This will be good.
Yeah. So it's this is a good one. This is one of the bases to Physician. And this is one that I saw it and I was like, oh, I need a little bit to push me over to get the free Breathe Well. And this sounded good. It's apricot green, blood orange, and chamomile.
That sounds unusual.
I like blood orange. I don't know about apricot, but apricots should go with orange pretty well.
It's sweet, so it might tone it down a little bit.
And then I love chamomile, which is also sweet.
Yeah.
And this is Agatha Christie, The ABC Murders. This is the same lady, I believe.
I think it's the same one who does
I
Blue
don't.
Gray Cells.
No, I think she does Hercule Poirot's Christmas.
Does she do the one I have with the car that I gave it to you and then I took it back from you because I liked it?
I think she does. If it says Agatha Christie and then the title, that's generally one of hers.
Okay.
The
tin looks like the tin I have.
Yeah.
You know, it's got
so,
the car in the front.
And what it looks like she might do is she might find pictures of the covers of the book. I need to reread ABC Murders. It's been a while. Maybe I'll make a cup of this
I listened
and
to it.
reread ABC Murders. I remember Hastings being an idiot in it, so I haven't read it in a while. Although I like Hastings better than I did in the past, he still isn't the brightest bulb in the packet.
Well, I think back then they were still the time period where you have to make someone seem stupid so the other one seems smart.
Yeah, although I think what Hastings didn't necessarily come across as stupid. He came across as actually fairly emotional for
For man.
well, not even for man, for the stiff upper lip. And also, you know what it is? He came with the preconceived notions that seem to be inherent in that culture. This is how things are done. This is how...
Stayed.
Yes, these are how certain people are. He has to overcome certain biases. So, whereas Poirot doesn't have these biases. And he always talks about Hastings' honest face. That sometimes he will lie to Hastings so that... Because Poirot has no qualms about lying. Or listening in doorways.
No.
Or doors.
Snooping.
Snooping. Hastings is constantly horrified.
Yes. It isn't cricket. It isn't done.
It isn't done. It's
Not how the game is
It's
played.
not how the game is played.
Murder is
Not a game. So, but the next thing was a surprising. I was wondering what I had ordered, and then it turned out that Laura picked this up for me.
We're talking about crocheting Juvian.
Yes. So these are they're called circular stitch holders. I've got a short one, a long one, and a short one. They are
For sleeves.
for sleeves.
And the neck, maybe?
Yes, and you know what? Something like that, because you could be right, because these two would be sleeves, not necessarily a neck. I'm trying to think what else you would use it for. My brain's not working right now.
I bet it would work for a neck. And you have one down here, too.
Oh yes, there we go. I guess if you need to hold for another long, so maybe if you have a longer longer thing you need to hold for. But let me pull out the short one.
Maybe a hat or something.
They might also be different needle sizes.
That could be.
So this is 9 to 16 inch. This is 24 to 36 inch.
Oh, she had different sizes, yeah.
This is also 9 to 16. Yeah, I think it's the thought process is what size your sleeves are.
That was really nice of her.
Yes, and I want to show you one of the short ones. So it works basically for whatever your needle size is. These are put out by Clover.
Need help?
It's just that you know how it gets stuck a little bit?
Yeah.
There we go. It's usually happens with some of these. There. Sometimes happens when you have DPNs or some of the needle. Okay.
It looks like something you use in a hospital.
So,
Like an IV.
doesn't look at all like an IV.
Looks like an IV.
So you have this little needle, you put it through, and then
Put the bag up there and put the needle in.
you would go like this, and it would hold your stitches.
Very cool.
So, yes. Now, one place, long one might be for zipper,
Could be.
or not collar.
That's what I said. Your neckline, your collar, yeah.
Okay, we had different thoughts. Probably. I mean, like down the fronts.
Oh, I don't know if it'd be that long, but
But you could have them bunched together like
a shawl
that.
collar, you know.
Shawl collar, that kind of thing. But this is definitely for sleeves. So I really like the idea because sometimes with holding yarn, it can be using yarn, scrap yarn.
You can even knit with this on because it's got the needle size, right? I mean,
No, it's only one needle size. It's very small. I wouldn't suggest knitting with it for a prolonged period of time.
no. I mean, when you get the stitches.
What I would do you could just to transfer if
Right.
you needed to. But what I would most likely do is just pick up from this. But it does make it easier. So yeah, I'm very grateful for her for grabbing this for me. I look forward to using. I'm pretty sure for my Embers cardigan. I'll end up needing to use it soon, so I'm kind of excited about it. Soon being relative because I have several sweaters on the go. Nowhere near that point with the owl one because it's bottom up.
I think I'm going to pull out Davina's because I'm not working on it. And you're already making her a gray one.
Yeah, I'm at a point where I need to focus a little bit because I'm going to be starting to reconnect the main part of the sweater to where the pockets, right now I've been working on the pockets, I'm about to reconnect, so that takes some focus. Final stash enhancements for me is, okay, so I had some buttons come in. So, let's do these first.
I don't remember you buying a rosary. Those are pretty.
Yes, these are very classic looking.
They have
It's a shaft.
shaft. That's what the word I was looking for. Yeah.
So very classic looking. And I could potentially use it on the blue sweater I have. I have other plans for that sweater, but this could always be an option for a really nice option for a blue sweater. These would not go to waste. And they sent me an extra one plus this random red one.
It'd be cute on a hat or something. Make a hat for Davina, like in multiple colors. And
Yeah. This is Eden Castle Designs Jewelry and Decor. So
very pretty.
And I'm just rebuilding my button collection because a lot of what I have a few of my nice buttons, but a lot of them are just what little bit is left over from having knit other sweaters. I don't have enough for a sweater for most of them. Then it would be this one. Because I showed the silver ones last time. So these are mother of pearl black. I think I was thinking of these made for the yellow sweater.
Yeah. If it's too thick of a yarn, it's not going to work. It's going to be too thin.
You don't use the yarn to sew it on, Mom. You use thread.
No, I know that. I'm just talking about to fit on to fit with the whole aesthetic of the.
Yeah, it all depends on. Yeah, no, you're right. I could, but it's a thinner. It's a Miss Babs. So it all depends on what I decide I want. If I decide these are too small, I might go with a bigger, like I did with my Jane Richmond one. But this is about a 1-inch.
Why is my
button.
tea gone?
Your sweater calls for 1-inch buttons. And I'm still waiting for Mom's to come in. They did ship them, but they're coming from England. And I got the exact size they asked for. It might be a little bit bigger.
They're special buttons.
Yes, they're owl buttons.
They make me happy.
So, yes. And I could either do the shiny end or I could do the slightly rough end.
That's prettier side.
I'm kind of inclined for the slightly rough end.
She always tells me I like the back end anyway.
But I do think
It's got more texture to it.
And it's hard to tell with this, the way they're shaped.
Well,
I think this is supposed to be the front, but I like the other
something
red.
like this I think would be on something that's more of a very streamlined, maybe kind of you know that to me works on something that would be at home in Poirot's kind of Art Deco kind of.
Yeah, where it's all angles and stuff. So
Yeah.
here is the shiny non-textured end.
No imperfections.
And here's the textured one.
Yeah. Poirot would see that as an imperfection.
Yes, he would. I just like the feel of it too.
I think he would despair of us.
Yes. But I think the shiny end is supposed to be the one that's out. Whether or not this actually side that will be out all depends on what sweater it goes on.
I think you can do whatever you want.
It all depends on the feeling. Now, something like the one that I'm making in the yellow probably would want something more texture because if you look at the sweater, it's a little bit more boxy. And that you might be right because of the boxiness of that sweater. I might need larger buttons. Now, this one is meant. I got specifically for this pattern when I was looking. Because this is the Fisherman's hoodie. I think they call them check beads. CZE.
As in Czechoslovakia.
Yeah. And I know this is like Pisces or whatever, but all I saw was button with fishies. And
It's pretty.
that has to be for this fisherman's hoodie.
Very nice.
And they ship really quickly.
And this has got kind of a glass back to it. It's clear. I mean, it's not glass, but it's that opaque.
Yeah.
I can see my fingers through it.
So it's nice. They had one with silver fish, but I wanted the goldfish. That sounds like weird, like I'm talking about actual goldfish, but no.
Or the goldfish, I thought of the food.
Yes, so I don't like goldfish.
That would be
food.
messy.
So yes, I am looking forward to putting these on there. The hole is on the small end for the shaft, but doesn't matter because I'm not putting yarn through there. I'm putting thread. Usually my technique is you put the thread through, you make sure you sew the shaft really well, and then you put the yarn around it to make a really secure sewing, and then you secure again. It makes it so the buttons actually stay. I think it took knitting sweaters for me to actually learn how to put buttons on properly. Or at least shaft buttons. I think everyone's done the other kind of buttons at some point. But yes, those are that. Those are these. Whatever. Thus endeth my stash enhancement. Oops,
Okay.
Bunny.
My first stash enhancement, something I said to my husband, did you get All Recipes magazine for yourself? Because he had got me Taste of Home for Mother's Day. No, he got it for my birthday or Christmas or something. And he said, no, I got it for you for Mother's Day because I didn't want to say anything because it hadn't come in yet. So this is the first issue of All Recipes that he got. From
This
me.
issue is 5 ingredients or less.
Yeah, it's 5 ingredients or less. It's got summer ideas like backyard barbecues and breakfasts.
And
things
Dad
like
and I tend to prefer All Recipes when we go to online for looking for
that.
recipes.
I alternate between this and Taste of Home. I usually go to Taste of Home first, but I do go to this as well.
But we were saying it's probably because Mom started with Taste of Home before there even was like internet websites.
But I do like Taste of Home.
Internet websites kind of go together. Cooking websites.
I mean, it's got. I'm trying to see if there's anything. Mike wants something special for Father's Day. I have to see if I can find it. And he says we have the ingredients at home. I wish that these magazines were better quality in terms of paper, because it just feels like I could tear it just by looking at it almost.
Well, you know it's nothing in the bean area because Dad like.
No, but I like some of these things.
Mm-hmm.
I want to try some of these things. They look really good. I mean, this sounds interesting.
The lamb burger.
The goat cheese stuffed lamb burgers. I'm not sure if goat cheese will affect me the same way as other cheese.
I've heard people not being affected by goat cheese if they can't
Yeah.
handle different cheese.
Let's see here. Raspberry oatmeal cookie
Yeah,
bars.
he liked that.
But that wasn't it though. It was a crumble.
Oh, I think it's in the same area.
Yeah, I'm looking for it. I haven't seen it yet. I might be over here. There's all kinds of really fun, kind of summer type recipe. Here it is. He wants me to make, if I have the time to make it, the blackberry crisp.
But he wants it in blueberry.
He wants it in blueberry. Doesn't that look good? I love a good crisp. And he said I can go ahead and adjust it for Talia. So you know it's got blackberries, well blueberries, flour, which I'll use, the gluten-free, dairy-free, her rolled oats, brown sugar, butter. We use our butter. Basil leaf for garnish. I probably won't put basil leaves, but it doesn't have a whole lot of ingredients. It looks like I have a perfect. The ramekin they used for not the ramekin, but the thing I used for the ham this last time.
Yeah.
Might work with that.
And the nice thing is, my stuff tends to make things a little more crumbly anyway, so it's perfect for crumble.
For crumble, yeah. And this looks like it'd be really good. It's got a cup of brown sugar in it, so that's gonna be nice and sweet with the blueberries, because blueberries are already kind of sweet. So yeah, it's all kinds of really neat stuff in here. I mean, they have blue cornmeal pancakes.
I was gonna say, are those pancakes blue?
I mean, it's just.
Oh, it's cornmeal. I should be able to have it.
Yeah, cornmeal. Yeah, it's page 55, so that's peach. It has peach, cornmeal, sugar, salt, boiling, blue cornmeal, milk. We'd have to use our milk, egg, butter, our butter. Yeah, we should be able to have that. So that would be.
I've never
fun.
heard of blue cornmeal.
I have. It comes from blue corn.
Huh. It makes it look interesting. Like, It's so weird to see. It almost looks like a bluey greeny.
Per 4 3-inch pancakes and 2 peach slices. Is that 525 calories?
Oh, you know what? The peach slices are at the side. I bet you don't have to do the peaches.
Mm-mm.
So you could just skip the peaches part if you don't want the grilled peaches.
Yeah. Because these are all breakfast in the backyard. A lot of these things are grilled things.
I bet you can make the pancakes work on the stove.
I bet you could, yeah.
So if you just don't do the grilled peaches, I think that it would be a workable recipe.
I'm looking forward to trying some of these recipes because I want to do other things, but I also want to get things that maybe if we start out with them being gluten-free, dairy-free, it won't be such an issue to change them.
Right.
So that's this.
Well, you also said you want to make some healthy cookie options so you have things that you can handle with your jaw.
Yeah, I'll talk about that later. But this, my friend, the one who you were talking about Helen earlier, weren't you?
Yep.
This is Lacey One, and we're very good friends. We've been friends for over 20 years. And I'd given her a book set that was a very nice book set, and she wanted to do so. I wouldn't let her pay me for it because I was getting rid of it. But she wanted to do something. So I had one from our local yarn store at her opening. I had won this whole big package of yarn. I had no idea what I was going to do with it because it was fingering sock. And so I gave it to her. I said, will you make me a sweater? And she made the sweater that was in the pattern. She said, you want to make that one? I said, yes. So this is the sweater she made. This is the back. Isn't that beautiful? And here's the front. And she knows how I like long sleeves, and I'll show you just a second how. Last time she was here last year, she tried to find buttons, and she couldn't find the buttons here, so she had to go wherever she was to get her buttons. But she lives out by Fiber Space, so she might have gone there. But see, look at this. I mean, it's very stretchy.
That's nice.
I was afraid to wear this over sleeves because I didn't think it was going to stretch, but it will. It's
well, that's one of the nice things about wool is it will stretch, unlike the acrylic.
Isn't this pretty? I mean, let me see here. It's just a very nice. I didn't think I would like a lace sweater, but
Well, I hope so because I'm making you a lace sweater right now.
right. But it's not. I guess I'm not talking about lace.
This one has more lace to it.
Yeah, and this is really warm. I had to take it off because I was getting overheated.
Well, that is one of the surprising things about some of these
Isn't that
lightweight
gorgeous?
sweaters. They're actually quite warm.
So you can see through it.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful, but it's warm. This is one of the sweaters that
They're
wore-
lightweight, but they're warm.
Yeah, I have to. I'm putting it in a drawer right now because I'm afraid to put it on a hanger.
That's where I keep all my sweaters is in a drawer. I don't put my knit sweaters in a hanger.
Yeah. So this.
I have a whole dresser that's just my knitwear.
I have a dresser for that too, and I need to go through it because there's stuff there that I made either in acrylic or I made it and I don't want it anymore, and I need to either get rid of it or, reclaim the yarn or something. So I have space in my drawers for these things that are really nice.
Well, I constantly reorganize my drawers
Yep.
to make more room for things.
Well, I have on the very bottom, I have like that beautiful Rana that Noah gave me from Israel, and I need to put that maybe back in the closet because it's not going to catch like some of the other things are,
Yeah.
and I need to put my knitted stuff
You need
in
that
there.
drawer.
Yeah.
My knit socks moved to the other dresser where I would normally keep my socks because I don't wear other socks. The other socks are all in a box downstairs.
I may get one of those thin plastic things that can slide under the bed and put all my hats and stuff in there under the bed because
You're always struggling to find your hats.
I have all these wonderful hats. But yeah, so that's all I have to say about that. That's my enhancements.
Okay, so then I guess it's thank you and bye.
Yeah, we don't have much to say in terms of, I think we said it all last week about the, well, we haven't talked about what you have to do.
What are you talking about?
Home, life stuff.
But we have to do thank yous first.
Yeah. Okay, so we do want to say thank you. We're going to go into live stuff, which isn't going to be overly long because we have to eat. But
Although we're making good time for us.
yes, but I need to do an early lunch because I have things to do because I didn't get a chance to do my walk yet.
But for podcast day, we're doing pretty well.
Before we do, I do want to say that I did go to my writing group. I think I mentioned that. I'm doing the prompting on the Percolator right now, which is my online writing group.
And you have the shared story.
And I have the shared story, but I did something at the writing group, but I haven't done anything since because I can't access what's on my laptop to bring it to my other
And
computer.
I keep telling her, get your stick,
well,
move it.
Right, but I can't bring it up. It won't open. So I can get it on the stick. So actually,
You just need to drag it.
no. I have to get it open first. I have to get into that file to get it. So I have to. I can't just. It's not like the Kindle thing where I have to. It's so slow that I'm not. I'm not able to open things.
Well, you don't have to open it to move it. You just move it.
But I have to get to it. I have to open the folder. I have several things in the folder.
I see what you're saying.
And so, what I'm probably I had the stick, but I put it somewhere that I forgot where I put it when I was there. So I ended up working on the computer itself. So that's why I don't have it. I need to try to access it again on the computer here and put it on the stick, because I tried to get to it and maybe send it email, and that didn't work. So my husband and I are going to go through and just strip that down, so I have internet access, but I just have the bare bones of
Right,
things.
because you have everything already on your other computer. If you just completely make it like it's brand new again, and then just add things as you need it.
Yeah, I will probably have things like all my folders for my writing and all that kind of stuff, and I'll have, my a few other things, but I'm not going to have all the different. I'm going to take Google off. I need Gmail, but not Google. You use Firefox on there. And
You
then-
mean Chrome?
Chrome? Yeah, Chrome. And so, although, can I get into Gmail without Chrome?
Yeah.
Because I
you
tried
can do
to
it with Firefox.
I tried to do it, and I thought it said I had to sign in.
Well, you always have to sign in.
Okay, well, you have to show me.
You had to initially sign in, even because if you were using Chrome, you didn't have your password saved in another browser. As soon as you sign in once and you tell them to save your password, then you'll always be able to get in.
So you have to understand, I must be incurably dense or something, because I still have problems with the idea of browser and what the Gmail and the search engines and all that. I know what they do, I just don't know what they're called. And so I can't keep them straight. It drives my husband nuts, but it's the way it is.
Can't tell you how many times Dad and I have tried to explain this.
It doesn't. I try. I just can't get it. So So I just whatever. I need to take Chrome off, because all I need is Firefox, and then all my writing stuff, so that maybe it'll speed things up a little bit.
If you get rid of the hog programs.
If I get rid of the hog programs, yeah. So all those kind of things. I take off the things that I don't want traveling around with me, like bank stuff and all that kind of stuff.
You don't need it on there. You're
I
not
don't need
using
it on there, so take it off, because that's going to be going out of the house. I don't need it out there. So hopefully I can get some writing done in the next few days. But I did focus on, like I said, yarn dyeing, and I have to get rid of some of the dye stock. But anyway, going back into thank you, so that you guys can leave if you want to without hearing the life stuff. We want to thank Looney Hiker, Kara, Wendy, who's MacGyver. Yes, she is.
Yes.
Brittany, Rena, and Jodidiah. We are very grateful for your comments. If I missed you, I just didn't see you, because by the time I put this all out to use on the podcast, we're grateful to all the comments and to all the people who do thumbs up. I know we have a viewer who is very strapped for time sometimes, and she just thumbs up. That's great.
That's great. That's
great.
That just lets us know that you're watching, and that's awesome. Puts a name to the viewing numbers.
Yes. Yeah, if you do comment or whatever, if you do subscribe, that helps us to get seen more.
Yeah.
So
Hey, I feel like when it's made me feel like, I don't always need to actually comment on a video. Like, really, I can do just a heart or something like that. It's made me feel a little bit more comfortable with that.
yeah. But we do like the comments.
We do like the comments, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, when I'm strapped for time,
Yeah.
sometimes I won't comment on people's videos.
I just don't want people who do comment to stop
no,
commenting.
yeah, don't stop.
Yeah, don't stop commenting.
But if
This
you're
is-
strapped for time, we'd like to,
Yes.
if you want to do a heart or a thumbs up, we're happy to see
that's
that.
good too. In fact, sometimes she'll say, "Watched and thumbs up."
Yeah.
Which is really cute. She makes me happy. Okay, so we want to say goodbye to you guys. Have a wonderful, blessed week full of whatever it makes you happy. And we'll see you back here again for the Fun in the Woman Cave. And we will give them about 5 seconds to turn off their computer or go to another screen or whatever before we start talking about life stuff.
Okay, so the main part of it has been, well, of course you had your visit on Tuesday, but Thursday I had a doctor's appointment. It ended up being an all-day doctor's appointment.
Which is why I got so much done.
Yes, I mean usually it's a pretty long appointment anyway when I have to see a doctor, but they wanted to
As
get
opposed to testing.
opposed to testing. If they have me come in extra for a test, it's usually pretty in and out. That might happen later this month or early next month because they were fighting with insurance toward the end of the appointment. They even had a peer-to-peer where my doctor was on the phone with the insurance's doctor, and that still didn't make it so the insurance approved. I've hit my deductible, so insurance is going to try to weasel their way out of paying for things. So they had to send records. Once they can get it approved, we'll try to get this testing done. But that kept me there for several hours longer than I would have been otherwise. But they did determine, thankfully, I have good blood flow to my brain. They scanned the blood vessels leading to the brain, which was, so it's a little ultrasound right here, which was cool. But my doctor agrees with the neurosurgeon that she thinks there are signs that point toward tethered cord. But she says if it's not that, we need to look into the possibility that we're looking at neurodegeneration related to an autoimmune disorder, which I guess sometimes occurs with POTS. There's actually some studies being done now to say that there might be an autoimmune element to POTS. There are recent studies coming out.
With the fact that they've diagnosed me with an autoimmune type of thing, that doesn't,
Now, don't know if that matches completely with everything else going on with me because
I'm hoping it doesn't.
Mine stems from Ehlers-Danlos and from mast cell, which is not autoimmune.
Right, and that's more encouraging.
So, but I'm really hoping that we're not looking at an autoimmune element because neurodegeneration, that makes me think of things like Parkinson's, cerebral palsy, and MS, and none of those things are, you are basically just trying to slow the process. So I really would prefer it to be something that can be surgically fixed, even if it has to be surgically fixed multiple times because I retether. At least that is not degeneration. That's so at this point we're hoping for surgery because otherwise, we have symptoms and we did tests, including one I learned in nursing school I'd never seen in person. You take a blunt instrument like the hammer that you smack the knee with. Same guy developed the hammer as well as this test. It's named after him, Babinski. Last name, not his first name.
Yeah.
That'd be a weird first name.
That's even a test that I knew about.
Yes, because you see, I think it probably comes up a lot in special ed. So if you're neurologically intact, I think it's the main part of your foot will go, your main toes will go back, I think, and your big toe will go down, or vice versa. I forget which it is. It's one way for adults, it's the other way for babies. But if you're neurologically impaired, even though your other toes will either curl or go back, whatever it's supposed to do, your big toe will stay flat, or it will go the opposite direction of what it's supposed to. When she did it on me, my toe stayed flat. So I definitely have some neurological impairment going on. And she said left side worse than right, which how many times have I said my left side is my worst side?
Yeah, see,
So-
that's the opposite of me.
Right side's your bad side.
Yeah. Although I do have plenty of issues on the other side.
I do too, but my left is my bad. So, to a certain extent, it was encouraging to see the Babinski because I very easily convince myself that if I have a good day, that I imagined the bad day. So, even with video evidence, it's just having a test always is encouraging. But yeah, so I have testing not tomorrow, but the Tuesday after Father's Day. It should hopefully be the clinching test to get me diagnosed with tethered cord, and then hopefully you can move forward with surgery. And as soon as I actually get the paperwork done and all that, I want to start my book on the neurosurgeon who prays with the patients. That's my reward.
I mean, like Dr. Henderson.
Like Dr. Henderson,
Yeah.
which even though I don't remember him praying with us, Mom says he did, so I believe her.
Yep. He said to me, "Do you want to pray?" I said, "Yes, please." So,
Yeah, I think either I so much like in the zone of like being concerned about, or just maybe anesthesia wiped part of that out.
I don't think you under yet.
Well, maybe afterwards. Like,
Yeah,
I don't, maybe I just don't remember a lot beforehand because of anesthesia, or I was so anxious because it was my first surgery.
Yeah.
And it was a big one.
Yeah.
So, it could have been either way. But yes, so that is that for me. Basically hoping for surgery.
Yeah. Well, nothing quite so dramatic for me at this point. Told you about the weird arthritis thing that I have going on.
Psoriatic arthritis,
Psoriatic
spondyloarthritis, and I added that to my list of family history this past time.
Right. So I have, apparently that's what I have. It's a form of arthritis that is not usually females. And they certainly don't get it in their sacroiliac, whatever that is down here, in your hip area. But that's where I have it. He's not sure why my jaw's the way it is. I'm going back to the dentist to see, because yes, the pain is not as bad, but I'm having trouble eating. Not all the time, and not with all foods, but my jaw will slide forward. The bottom jaw will kind of slide forward, not all the way, and it's a little disconcerting. That I can't eat popcorn because I'm afraid to eat popcorn. I don't eat a lot of graham crackers anymore because I'm afraid of that. If I have to take a Tums or something, I'm afraid to eat that on one side. I have to kind of play around with where I can eat it.
Right.
And I need to know why. I'm kind of hoping they'll do an X-ray or an ultrasound there to see what is going on in my jaw.
Yeah, it all depends. They'll usually, I guess it depends if they think there's soft tissue involvement that they'll do an ultrasound.
Well, I know that there's TMJ with it, but there's also something else.
Yeah.
And when I was explaining it to Mrs. Helm, she said that sounds like ligaments. And I think it was Mrs. Helm I was talking to, and so, or maybe it was Sarah. I don't know. Anyway, and so that's soft. That you're not going to see that on X-ray. I need to know what's going on. I need to know if it's inflammation, because the kind of arthritis that I have is a
and
inflammatory.
if it's an inflammation, then that other medicine that's
Might
supposed to help might help, as well as with your nails and stuff like it's supposed to.
The thing that I'm worried about that is that I'm wondering if that tightness is what's holding my jaw from dislocating, and I don't want it to dislocate or to come out of, just, I don't know. I need to find out more information. I can't afford to lose any more weight.
No, you can't.
Well,
that's why I was talking to her about some of the protein shakes, because that's what I have for breakfast in the morning. And if she uses the pea protein instead of the whey, it shouldn't affect her gut.
Yeah, my nurse practitioner is already a little concerned. I'm fine where I'm at,
but you can't.
But because my nurse practitioner is worried about it. Ty is a nurse; she's concerned about it. I have been 5 or 8 pounds less, but I wasn't at my best at that time, and I was also younger. I was doing a lot more.
And you were stupid.
I was not stupid.
You had bad.
I ate very well. I did, but I also was very active, and I was actively trying to, because those of us who grew up in the 80s know that it was the fitness craze, and it was also like being thin. Not quite like the 60s where you weren't healthy
And
about
she
it.
was very much in that craze.
So I can be obsessive a little bit. So I don't want to lose more weight than I have. I'm happy where I'm at. Losing more weight's not a good idea, especially if I get sick or something. So
no, because then you have nothing really to draw from.
Yeah, and I've been talking to my husband about that too, because he's dropped a lot of weight. It's just, it's probably good for him if he has to have surgery, but it's just not something I want to play with. I do want to get some answers. I am happy that I've had some progress. I don't think it's anything serious, but I'd like to know what it is, because it's impeding me doing things.
Right.
And then I need to go back to Sarah and maybe find out why. If I can get maybe something to the physical therapist to ease up some of the stuff that's making it hard, because the pain from the back of the hip is causing problems like in the thighs and stuff. I want to do stuff. Not that it's weakening or anything. It's just that radiating stuff.
Right.
So, yeah. But we're good. I mean, we're good. Davina's fine, and Mike might have to have surgery, but we'll talk about that later. So we're just a mess here.
We are.
But God will take care of it, because God takes care of messes. So that's the way it is. But that's about all there is to say about that. Looney Hiker, please remember to contact me about your prize. Keep your eye out on the shop, and we will be back here next Friday. We don't have a Zoom, right?
We do not. Zoom is the last Friday of the month.
So we'll see you on Monday then.
Yeah.
For the podcast. Yeah, is that all we have to say?
That is all we have to say.
All right, we want to wish everybody here a wonderful week full of knitting, crocheting, loom knitting, crafting, whatever it is that makes you very, very happy. And we hope to see you here for the Fun in the Woman Cave next week. This is the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast episode, I say 509.
It is 5:09.
And that's a wrap.
Bye.